The Rockets have been horrible ever since James Harden left, but now they made moves meant for competing. Houston is the next team to watch this season because they're gonna have a breakout year. The team had been flat out bad, but this season will be a different situation. The young established core guys have shown flashes of star power, they just need to put it all together. And even more young wildcard talent joined the team from this draft, which make the Rockets unpredictable. And finally, the front office made smart moves in acquiring veteran leadership that helped not only the roster construction, but also the locker room. First, let's start with the young core, the main factors in making the Rockets elevate to a competitive level. I want to focus on 3 individuals, so sorry to the rest in advance. At center is Alperen Sengun. Last season, in under 30 minutes a game, he averaged 14.8 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists per game. A team littered with scorers like the Rockets need playmaking at multiple spots, and Sengun can get his own bucket, but a lot of his time was spent creating looks too, as he was in the 90th percentile in assist-to-usage ratio for his position. He has a ways to go before anchoring a defense, but with the team absent of defensive stoppers, he still managed to hold a positive plus-minus on the defensive end. Out of all 14 players that played at least 300 minutes for Houston, only 3 had a positive rating on that end of the floor. Now next is the electrifying wing Jalen Green. Green is oozing with talent as he is hyper athletic and can get to any spot on the floor as he wants. He has every tool you could want in a shot creating athletic wing, he is just failing to put it all together. Green had the reins to the team last year. He had by far the highest usage rate and took the most shots. Ultimately, Green was hurting his team with a net rating of -2.1. His shooting wasn't there yet with only 41% from the field overall and 33% from 3. He also wasn't much of a playmaker, ranking in the bottom 10 percentile at his position for assist-to-usage ratio. Defense is yet another issue. Opponents overall shot 1.4% better when guarded by Jalen Green. It's hard not to see how special he can become by watching him play if he can have that breakout this year. We got to see what that could look like post All-Star break as Green shot better, took care of the ball more, and set up his teammates more productively. He just needs to continue to make a big leap. The biggest story for Houston lately has been Jabari Smith. Smith largely had a quiet rookie season. His averages of 14.8 points, 7.2 rebounds, and 1.3 assists per game paired with a low 40% shooting from the field and just 30% from 3 leave a lot to be desired. Post All-Star break, however, saw a big jump in his overall ability. His confidence seemed to take a step up and mistakes came down. He became more efficient as a scorer as well as taking care of the ball overall. His turnover ratio dropped down significantly during this time. This improvement in confidence carried over to the Summer League because ideally when a second-year player participates in Vegas, they demonstrate not just improvement, but they end up looking like a star amongst the first-year players. And that's exactly what occurred as Smith played 2 games and averaged 35 points on very efficient shooting. He projects as a dominant floor presence for years to come if this momentum continues. With a 6'11 frame, he's too big for most wings because he can either just pull up over them or take his defender into the post to showcase his clean fadeaway jump shot. Opposing big guys will have trouble keeping up with his speed and handle, which might lead to some very easy free throw opportunities. As of right now, Jabari Smith is the most important piece to the Rockets' success. A duo of a star wing and a big is a recipe for winning that has a very proven track record. Take a look at just the last 20 champions and also well beyond that. All have had a star big and most have had a star wing to pair. Outside of the young talent making a return, we also get to see some new youth injected around the edges. The Rockets drafted 2 wings in Amen Thompson and Cam Whitmore. Usually, rookies don't make winning impacts to their respective teams. But this situation is unique in that Thompson and Whitmore don't need to do much more than provide a spark off the bench. Thompson is an athletic ball handler who can score and make plays for his teammates. He gives the Rockets point forward abilities for a different dynamic when needed. Whitmore, who surprisingly landed with Houston at number 20, is an even more uber athletic wing who has demonstrated immense energy and hustle while winning the Summer League MVP. This size and diverse skill set coming off the bench should overpower opposing second units and might even swing games when the 2 rookies come in and elevate the energy for their team. If they play well, the Rockets will extend their minutes. If they don't, then they simply stay on the bench. Thompson and Whitmore could potentially develop into stars in the future and cause the front office to make some very tough decisions with so much cornerstone-worthy talent. But for now, let's just enjoy the show. Finally, let's talk about the veterans that signed with the Rockets this offseason. The past couple of years since losing James Harden saw plenty of immaturity as the young guys were allowed to run the show. Possessions were hijacked with over-dribbling, and team play could have definitely been better. Such is the case with rebuilding teams, but now the Rockets have signed proven leadership to keep the young core in check. Because they spent big to bring in guys, most notably Fred VanVleet and Dillon Brooks. VanVleet has long been a key piece of the Raptors' previous success. He's a high-volume scorer that can take over games when he heats up. Fred has championship experience and can guide the team to learn how to play winning basketball. Brooks, who had a lot of controversy in the playoffs, brings grit and toughness to the wing positions. His toughness might irk other vets, but on a young team, he plays the role as mentor and protector. With these two additions, the team theoretically have everything you need for a successful team. They have interior and wing defense. They can score at all three levels, run the pick and roll, and now a true point guard to run the show. The depth on the bench can catch opponents by surprise too. We've seen this on teams before who started hot and quickly fell apart as the season progressed. But with veteran leadership, the boat should stay afloat through the grueling 82-game season. The Rockets are ready to break out and rise the ranks. Make sure to keep an eye on them, like if you agree, and subscribe for more NBA videos.